everyone, it's Vicki from Minerva. I'm here today to let you know that the Vogue half price pattern sale starts today at Minerva. So all Vogue patterns on the Minerva website are a whopping 50% off, which is an incredible, fantastic offer. And on top of that, if you're a Minerva Craft Club member, you'll save a further 10% off sale prices. And as always at Minerva, we always offer free worldwide shipping options as well. So if you've been looking at Vogue patterns, or you just want something, some new patterns to kickstart your your sojo, now is definitely the time to be having a look at Vogue patterns. So in today's video, what I've done is I've picked 6 of my favourite Vogue patterns. Some of these are absolutely iconic patterns, really popular ones, and other ones that are some of my favourites that I think sometimes go a little bit sort of under the radar. And then what I've done is I've picked my favourite fabric. I've gone for all Minerva exclusive fabrics today, but on all different types of base cloths, to give you some inspiration for what sort of fabrics will be lovely to team with these patterns. So hopefully at the end of this video, you'll be raring to go on your sewing machine, and hopefully I can give you lots of ideas of what you can sew with patterns from the sale. So let's get stuck in. So the first one is an absolutely iconic Vogue pattern. This is number 1735, and as always we'll pop images into the video so you can see the pattern details as I'm talking you through them. So this is a maxi length dress. It has a very low plunging neckline, which does look beautiful and it's dramatic, but if you're not comfortable with that, you could alter that neckline to make it not quite so low, or you could wear a little vest top or something underneath, or just put an extra panel of fabric in there. And it has a tie around the waist, sort of like almost 3/4 length sleeves just below the elbow, which are quite loose sleeves. There's lots of fabric in this dress, so it really swishes and wafts beautifully as you walk, and it has pockets as well, which is fantastic. Now this fabric is perfect for a viscose challis fabric, so like the one that I'm wearing today. So of course I had to show you our Minerva exclusive viscose challis, which is just the most beautiful quality fabric. Now because this pattern it's quite simple really, there's very little seam lines or interruptions on a full length maxi, so I thought our gorgeous tropical trail print would be fabulous. Oh my goodness, can you imagine this pattern? This full length maxi dress made in this print. I think that would be absolutely glorious. It would be absolutely beautiful for summer, and I think you could place the print so that the one of these kind of floral bands ran down each side, and the same at the back. So I don't think you'd need to worry too much about pattern matching. It would just be if you just give some thought and consideration to pattern placement, just to make sure that these bands of florals are balanced on the garment. I think that would be absolutely beautiful, and it would feel incredible against your skin as well with that one. The next pattern I've got, so this is number 9075. This is another absolutely it's just an iconic pattern. It's a bestseller every single year, and what I love about this one is that yes, it has the dress option on the pattern, but it also has a jumpsuit option as well, where the legs are really full, so in a way it almost looks like a dress, but it isn't, it's a jumpsuit. Really lovely pattern. So both views have a very simple round neckline. They have princess seams, which I personally really love because I can get I find that easier to achieve a good fit on the bodice with those. It has a back zipper, and then it simply has a gathered skirt into that waistband, or it has the trouser legs of the jumpsuit that have pleats into the waistband to bring that fullness in. So it's quite a fitted bodice, but then either a big full skirt or a big full trouser legs on that jumpsuit. Again, I think a viscose challis for this pattern is absolutely beautiful. It has a lined bodice, so I went for this fabric, which is called Poster Prints. It's one of our brand new collection at Minerva, and even though this has a white background, which to be honest it isn't actually that sheer, this one, I think, because there's a lot of black on the print, but with it having a lined bodice you have no worries at all with this garment. The skirt and the trouser bit are so full that you're not going to need to be worried about it being sheer at all, and I just think that would be such a cool look in that pattern, either the dress or the jumpsuit, whatever is your style. I absolutely love this print. It's quite a bold, you know, in that it's black on white for the animal print, but it's only like a medium scale, and the little pops of colour in it are all different shades of pastels, which is just, it's so fresh and summery and just so modern, but so wearable, I think. You know, just having those little pops of colour in there, I think it's absolutely gorgeous and will be beautiful for summer. The next pattern I've got, so this is another dress, and this is number 8997. Now this one has vintage vibes to me. It's a fit and flare kind of dress. It has it has 6 different views on the pattern, loads of options on this pattern. They all have a V-neck line. Personally, I love that. I think it's really pretty and flattering. It has a seam down the centre, and underneath the bust it has a shaped piece like this, which is really lovely. And then there are all different sleeve options, so you can have it sleeveless, a short sleeve, a 3/4 sleeve, or my favourite, the pretty flutter sleeve. I love that. And then you can have just a straight, quite fitted skirt, or you can have a flared skirt as well, which that's the one that gives me vintage vibes. So if I was making this, I would be making View A, that beautiful V-neck line, that shaped waistline, the full skirt, and that beautiful flutter sleeve. I think that is absolutely beautiful. I actually have this pattern at home, and it's been on my sew queue for a little while, I must admit, but this summer is going to be the summer I'm going to make this pattern. Now for me, this pattern, it wants, especially if you're making the view with the flutter sleeve or the big skirt, it needs something with a little bit of drape, but it wants something with a little bit of structure and body as well, because you want it to hold that shape. And also if you made one of the views with the straighter skirt, again I think you want something with a little bit more body on that, not really like a viscose chalet in my opinion. So the fabric I've chose is our beautiful Minerva exclusive, again, linen and viscose blend. So this is one of those types of fabrics that has structure and drape. So it's not as drapey as, you know, a viscose chalet like the last fabric, and it's not as stiff and crisp and structured as what 100% linen fabric would be, but the linen and viscose blend gives it the benefits of both. So you have, as you can see there, a little bit of structure, but some drape as well. So for me, that type of fabric for literally any version on that pattern would be perfect. And this is our blossoming floral print. I've made a couple of things in this print now on different base cloths, and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. On the linen, it really shows off the texture of the linen. It's just gorgeous, and it will be really soft and breathable and cool to wear in the summer months as well. The next pattern I've got, so this is another dress. So today is quite dress heavy, but we do have the jumpsuit and I've got a top coming up as well. But this next one is another dress. Dresses, I think Vogue patterns do dresses really well. So I couldn't help but include quite a few in today's video. So this next one is number 9311. And this again has another quite low plunging neckline, but again, you know, you could tweak that, you know, by either adding like a modesty panel, wearing just a vest top underneath, or just altering the line of that neckline if you didn't want it, you know, quite as low. I know a lot of people don't like that, but if you do choose to leave it like that, you know, it is very dramatic and lovely. So it's got a fitted sort of bodice. It has sort of like pleated gathered details under the bust to create some shape. And the skirt is sort of like a, you know, an A-line sort of shape. So it's not a very full skirt, but it's not straight either. I think it's one of those styles that, you know, will just sort of skim over your hips and will be really comfortable to wear because of the room in that skirt. And you have 2 different options. So View A is the shorter length, which has a frill around the bottom, and they've left that sleeveless. And then view B is the full maxi version, which I think is just fabulous. And that has a split up the centre front, which I love a split on a maxi length dress. I think that's really lovely. And then it has a full sleeve that comes into a cuff at the waist. Really, really beautiful. And both of them have pockets, and they have like a tie that ties at the back, so I think that's quite a nice detail because it'll just hold it in, you know, touch round the waist, and I think that'll allow it to be a little bit more forgiving on fits, because if it came out just a touch too big, you could just draw it in a little bit more with that waist tie. So this is another fabric to me that is just perfect for viscose challis fabric. Because of the weight of our Minerva exclusive viscose challis, its softness, its drape, it's just suitable for so many different styles of patterns. So yeah, I've chose this one, which is another one of our brand new prints. This is called Mystic Grove, and it's one of my favourites. I absolutely fell in love with this. We worked with an artist based here in the UK for this design, and we gave them an idea. Like, I had this idea in my head of like a treescape in this sort of colour palette, and I couldn't get it out of my head for ages, but it's one of those that, because it wasn't a very finalised idea in my head, you know, I couldn't quite picture it, but I couldn't, you know, I could just sort of envisage it, but not fully, if that makes sense. So we had this very, very loose brief, but when we found this design, you know, when this was first presented to us, it was just like, oh, that is it. I absolutely fell in love with it, and they brought this dream in my head to reality. So it's got quite a special place in my heart as this print. And so far it's been one of the most popular prints, which just makes me so happy, because I'm so happy that, you know, you guys love it as much as I do. So for this pattern, I think it would just be lovely for this pattern. Now, either style of the dress has just a single seam down the front, so I think if you wanted to pattern match this down that seam, you could do that quite easily. Otherwise, you know, I mean, it's quite an abstract sort of like all over sort of print. Honestly, if it was me doing it, I probably wouldn't pattern match it. I kind of look at these things and think, well, you know, if I wouldn't expect to kind of buy it like that in the shops, then I don't need to put too much pressure and stress on myself to make it, you know, to pattern match it. So something like this in this kind of print, I wouldn't, but I know a lot of people do love pattern matching, so you know, that's something that you could play with this print and this pattern. And I think because both dresses are quite a long length, you know, one being a full maxi, I think that will be absolutely glorious to show off this print. I think that will be, oh, it's absolutely a match made in heaven. I really hope somebody makes that combination, because I think it'd be gorgeous. Please do share it with me on Minerva if you do. So the next pattern I've got, now this is a top pattern, a jersey top pattern, which you might have heard me talk about on the channel before. I've made this pattern, all three views, several times over the years. I have so many of them in my wardrobe, and it's the kind of top that I wear, you know, every day to work. But I can also wear it, you know, like with just with jeans and heels, you know, to go for like a pub lunch, or you know, just to go and meet up with friends, things like that. So it's not particularly dressed up, but it's just it's you know, because it's got you know, if you make it in a really lovely fabric, I think it can still be quite, you know, dressed up in the special top. So it had, the number of this one is 8952. There's 3 different views, and all of them are fitted at the top. Sorry, A and B rather are more fitted at the top, and then they sort of skim out over the hips, so they're a bit more loose and baggy around the waist and hip area, which is something I really like and prefer to a more fitted, like, sort of t-shirt top. View C is the simplest one on the whole pattern. It's one of the simplest top patterns you will ever make, is that, and the quickest as well. So that is a little bit looser fitting at the top, and again looser at the bottom. So view A has a neckband, view B has like a cowl neck, view C is literally you turn it over and stitch the hem. The different options have either high-low hems or hems where the sides drape down a little bit further. Just really, really simple to make. Great instructions as well. I found them very easy to follow. and 3 completely different tops that are all equally lovely. You know, I think sometimes on patterns there's you know, the main pattern, and then you do get other views, but you know, maybe there's just a slight sleeve length difference, or you know, something. On this, to me, they are 3 completely different tops, so it's really great value for money, that pattern. Now, this sort of pattern, I have made it so many times in viscose jersey, and to me it's the perfect pattern, fabric to make this pattern in. So I've gone for this beautiful Minerva exclusive viscose and elastane jersey. It is the most beautiful quality viscose jersey I have ever felt. The weight of it, the softness, the drape, everything about it is just, it just exudes quality. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I've made, in a few different prints now, I've made different tops, so I can absolutely testify that this is a perfect pattern and fabric combination. This is just one of our prints, but we have lots of different ones on the site for you to choose from. And yeah, it just makes the most gorgeous top. So the last pattern today, so this, we're back to dresses again now, but something a bit different to the others we've seen. So this is Vogue pattern number 9328. And again, it's another one of those patterns that you get so many different options on there. There's 6 different options that are all, you know, they have similarities, but there's quite a lot of variation. So again, all of these have a V-neck line, which again, you know, is something I personally really love. And they all have a fitted bodice with just a single seam and a princess seam, so again, great to achieve a good fit. And it also has a bust dart off that princess seam as well, so it should allow you to create a really good fit. It is actually one of the patterns that comes with different cup sizes as well, so if you're someone that struggles to get a good fit over your bust and, you know, in the bodice area, hopefully this could be a really good option for you. So all of the views for the skirt section have a full skirt that come in different lengths, and for me that's a really beautiful shaped skirt. It's not quite a full circle skirt, but it's more than an A-line. You know, it's somewhere in between the two, and it's made up of I think it's 6 different panels. Yeah, 6 different panels around the skirt, so lots of fabric in there. And then sleeve wise, you've loads of different options. So my favourites are probably view E and F, which, no surprise, is a flutter sleeve, but the one on F is particularly lovely because it's a very long flutter sleeve, so that's a little bit more unusual. But I also love A and B, which have like a plain sleeve that then has a frill along the edge. That's really pretty. And of course the ones on C and D are also really lovely. They're, you know, a big full puff sleeve that gathers into quite a deep cuff at the bottom, which is really on trend at the moment, that kind of look, isn't it? So yeah, all of these are just, they're all winners of a pattern in my eyes. So for me, this pattern, you want something with drape. So whether you're going for the flutter sleeve, the big puff sleeve, or the one with the frill, all those types of sleeves suit a fabric with drape. And that full skirt, you know, for me, you want something that's going to hang nicely, drape really well, and swish a little bit as you move in it. So I've chose another one of our viscose challis fabrics, and this is brushwork blooms. Isn't that absolutely breathtaking, that print? The artist that created this, I was just like mesmerised by her process, because when you look at the fabric print, you can absolutely see the paint brush strokes. It really is like having, you know, a canvas art, a piece of art that's from, you know, that you would put on your wall. It is just like having that on fabric. It's absolutely stunning. And the colours in this, I think she just has such an eye for colour, and it's, you know, it's maybe a combination that I wouldn't necessarily put together straight away, but it just works. You know, it's predominantly all different shades of green, right through to sort of like, there's like a hint of like acid yellow in there, there's very, very dark, rich, deep navy blues, hints of like mauve and pink and magenta, turquoise and kingfish. There's just so many colours in there, but at the same time I don't think it's really in your face, the colour. It's because it's predominantly green with just flashes of these other colours. I think it's just absolutely beautiful. And in a, you know, making it in a dress like that, it would really showcase that stunning print. The pattern does have quite a lot of breaks in the seam, you know, with the seam lines, both in the bodice and the skirt, and that's another reason why I went for this print, because it's just so abstract and all over that, you know, whatever you made in this, you wouldn't pattern match it. So it's not going to matter at all with this that there's lots of seam lines that break up the print, because you know, that's not going to spoil the print of this fabric at all. So that's all 6 patterns I had to share with you, and the fabrics with them. So I hope you found that inspiring. Obviously there's lots of dresses there and garments for spring and summer, as you know, obviously that's where we're heading here in the UK now. But the whole range of Vogue patterns is on sale on our website. So, you know, there's patterns for children, for menswear, women's wear. There's even like home accessory patterns, like aprons and things like that. There's hundreds and hundreds of patterns that are included in the sale, and they are all 50% off right now at Minerva. The sale will only last for a limited period of time. It's just for a few weeks. So, you know, if there are any patterns that you're interested in, Vogue patterns, it is definitely the time to shop them on the site now. The Vogue patterns are generally the more expensive end of big 4 patterns, and that can often be because, you know, they work with designers, designer collaborations, and they're just often very involved patterns, you know, have lots and lots of details in them. So the fact that they're now half price, you know, it makes it even more of a bargain really when you get those at 50% off. And like I said, you know, if you're a member of the Minerva Craft Club, you can get an extra 10% off the already discounted sale price on Vogue patterns, and you know, you get that off everything on the site. So if there's any fabrics that I've mentioned today or anything else on the website, you'll get 10% off that if you're a member of the Minerva Craft Club. And if you're not, you know, you can literally just add that membership to your basket, and that's just a one-off fee that will last for 12 months. You know, if you want to sign up again at the end, that's entirely up to you. If not, you know, that's absolutely fine. And yeah, as always at Minerva, we offer free worldwide delivery options. That's really fast delivery as well. So yeah, it's the perfect time to have a look at Vogue patterns. So thank you very much for watching today. As always, I'll tag everything below the video so you'll be able to easily find everything you want to have a look at on Minerva. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back again soon with another video filled with sewing and fabric goodness.